Hey there, Salka, everybody. Welcome back for another amazing episode of the MRHB Crypto Show. Like always, we have with ourselves Moby Sadiq and Mufti Billal will also be joining us for sure. Moby, before we get started, Mufti Billal, let's get him on the screen also, inshallah. Amazing. Assalamu alaikum, Mufti. How are you doing?
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Amazing. All right.
Caught me off guard.
So,
Yeah, I thought I was going to be brought in later on.
a few seconds, we have to give you that spotlight. But anyway, Moby, how is Australia? What's going on? Mufti Bilal, how's the UK? From the time that I left, I think there's been some changes.
I wasn't here, so I just got back as well a couple of days ago. I was actually in France.
How's the situation with all the Ukraine and Russia stuff from both of you guys' angles?
We're just spectator. We just sit back and watch.
Just like
I mean, that's
Canadians.
sort of my
we're the
perspective,
furthest.
right?
We're the furthest away from everything, so we got no idea. But
So the kangaroos are
but yeah,
protected.
the kangaroos are protected. But it's war is bad. War is terrible.
Yeah.
Like the loss of any innocent life, and it's unfortunately it's not just the obvious ones. And obviously, this is not a political show, but as Muslims, as global citizens, our heart goes out to all innocent people suffering, and not only
Yeah.
the Ukrainians in Ukraine. There's reports that ethnics, Africans, Asians, Arabs are not being allowed outside of the border. There's reports that Russia has sent in our Muslim brothers to fight ahead of their own. So Muslims are dying as well. So it's obviously the poor Ukrainians. The heart goes out to them, but then it's also a reminder for all of us. The Muslims dying in Syria right now and Palestine and all the other atrocities. So no one suffering trumps another suffering, but I think it's a good opportunity to remember that war is bad, period. And just because the media narrative can push the suffering of one, that doesn't take away from any other, either
Exactly.
or. So our heart goes out to all people suffering from war, Ukrainians. So as fun as that little crypto show is, nothing compares to people that are actually suffering. So yeah. Sorry, I don't mean to put such a damper on it, but obviously
I always like to start the show with some note here and there, and that's because we need to be always acknowledgeable with what's going on. And so, thank you, Moby, for that quick intro there. Amazing. All right, so let's get this thing started. So today we're gonna do a little bit of a shuffle just to see how things go along. And guys, we are seeing that there is a decrease in comments, so please put as many comments below. We have Mufti Bilal, who's going to be talking about many different topics. So if you want certain topics to be answered from myself, from Moby, or from Mufti Bilal, we got three people who are deeply in this industry. So ask away with three different expertise, right? So ask away, and this is an opportunity where people fully understand that they'll get. So put your comments and let us know what you guys are thinking about, what's upcoming, and what you want to know more about. All right, so we're going to start off with the market update. From that, we're going to move on to Mufti Bilal's point of discussion for this week. We're going to be talking about something very interesting, a leverage-based token, but it's not really leverage, but it's leverage. So it's going to be interesting to see what we have on our hand. After that, I'm going to do a quick MRHB update, and we will end it off with a feature topic. And hopefully this show is going to be exciting for you guys. So check it out, share with everybody. But let's get this thing started, Moby. What are the market updates? What's going on? Why is not Bitcoin not going up? Right, we've all been waiting.
Man, this industry. Anyway, Mufti Saab will let you go get your cup of tea whilst we get cracking. But I'm sure we'll see you soon. We'll see you in a few moments. So thank you, Mufti Saab. Honestly, it is hard to do a market update. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Like we were supposed to do one yesterday. We got sidetracked, and I almost had to redo like a whole bunch of my notes because the space is just moving really, really fast. Now, everyone knows now the financial markets, the share markets, the crypto markets, they're taking a beating right now from the Russia and Ukraine war. The only markets, actually, when you sort of think about it, let me get my screen back here. The only markets that are actually doing well, of course, is oil. So, people thought that this would sort of slow down a little bit. Last week when I shared this, I think oil was sitting about 5% lower. And this doesn't usually happen to oil, like even 5% in a week. Like this is you're talking like, Rothschild era industries. Like you don't
Yeah.
see this in oil. This is not
Yeah.
sort of normal right now. And it's very, very frothy, and it seems to be going up. So what is this telling us, Ahmed? Well, this is telling us that,
It's telling us to go get yourself a Tesla. Get switch to electric cars.
that's
Sorry.
another story entirely. But it's telling us oil is definitely overvalued. It's definitely frothy, and it tells us that
Yeah.
investors still think that this conflict is far from over. That there is a lot more pain ahead. It's not, by some reports, Putin wanted to kind of take over the country in 3 days. I don't know if it's true or not. To be at this point, I don't know what's true anymore. But the point is that investors don't think that this is turning the tide anytime soon. Now, last week I spoke about, and I'm going to just make this bigger here. Last week I spoke about a little bump and run pattern, right? Like I was showing the Bitcoin chart, and we sort of showed that, we are likely going to sort of bump and run, right? Now, just to kind of show you, that actually did sort of play out. So this is the updated chart here. And, this is something that I did actually get right. We sort of bumped here. You can see here.
Yeah. Zoom in a little bit.
Here, and we sort of bumped out again. So this is something that is sort of on trend. It's a good sign. We didn't just drop right through this resistance point here. Now right now from Bitcoin's point of view, 39,400. I know this is 38,400 here, but the next sort of level above 39,400 does seem like a significant level. And if we made a sustained move above 39,400, so that's around, if I kind of draw this out for you guys, 39,400 round, let's say about there, right? So if we made a sustained move above this new yellow line that I've drawn here, let me just make it blue or something, right? That would be really, really good news. That would be great news, and it would invalidate a bearish pattern that we're sort of seeing here, this bearish pattern that's kind of going down here. Now, let me kind of go back to the total 3. Now, I've shared this before. Total 3 is the entire crypto market when you exclude Bitcoin and Ethereum. And last time I mentioned that we had to break above $700 billion. So we had this sort of little rally here. Now, this chart I've seen in a few different places. You can see in Ethereum right now. The market has a really good way of faking you out, right? So, for example, there's a number of charts where it seems like a double bottom was forming, but then it's sort of been invalidated. And you have to be really, really careful. Like, it's very normal to have a relief rally. I'm going to talk about this a little bit later. Russia's been kicked out of SWIFT markets, so that's also kind of pushed us down a little bit as well. So you need to be careful. We are definitely not out of this bear trend. I definitely don't have any bullish news for anyone. I do think that it's going to be sustained, downturn. And we really, on the altcoin side, we really, really need to get above $700 billion. And we're not sort of seeing that right now. And another proxy for the altcoin market, of course, is the coin, Her Majesty Ethereum. So like I sort of said too, like literally like with the other chart, you almost like this double bottom seems to be forming. We had that nice reversal and then bang, a nice way to sort of fake people out. To be honest, like this is expected when you sort of know what's happening, when you sort of kind of, feel the way the market's going. This here wasn't a surprise for me. And honestly, if we did the show yesterday, I would have been talking on this green candle, right? So this is not, unexpected right now. Now, Ethereum is not looking great right now. So Ethereum is sitting at 2,600, roughly 2,600 at time of recording. Now, one thing I will say before I talk about where the price is going is when Ethereum hit 2,400 here again, that for me, I was looking to buy. The only reason why I didn't buy again at this level, because you saw we hit this level multiple times, is I couldn't get my funds in fast enough. That's the only reason why I didn't buy. But 2,400 is still a very, very nice level. If we lost that level, which also tends to be very close to the Bismillah level, then we're definitely in trouble, right? We're definitely in trouble. But not if you're a long-term investor. If you're a long-term investor, it's a great opportunity to DCA and buy more. Ethereum right now, I'm not looking at buying because it did lose a very important level. We needed to stay above 2,700. And if we did, then you could almost say the local bottom is possibly in. Now, heading into March, we may get another opportunity at the 2,400 to 2,500 level. So that's what I would be looking for if you're a value investor long term in the, I guess the world of crypto and Ethereum. Now, one thing that's really quite interesting is they're calling this the world's first crypto war. And I think that's a very, very apt way of looking at it. And it's really, really interesting. In and amongst the crypto price, just the bottom dropping out and, markets in turmoil right now, just look at what's happening. Like, this is the first war where something like this has happened. So on both sides of the coin, right, we're in a very sort of historic moment in time right now. On the Ukraine side, when I first saw this report, and Decrypt is actually updating this article every, couple of hours, it was, 400,000 had been sent to Ukraine, right? Then it was 4 million. Now today, in one day, it's gone to $18.6 million has been sent, to Ukrainians in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and NFT sales, right? And this is just really, really fascinating stuff, how they've managed to, in the midst of their ATMs having a bank run right now. So if you don't know what a bank run is, it's when everyone decides to withdraw at the exact same time. This is happening in Russia and Ukraine right now. Bitcoin seems to be the most liquid way to transport money right now. So that's absolutely fascinating. Now, on the other side, Ahmed, we know Putin is partial to crypto. What people don't realize is central banks often operate outside of the remit within the government, even in a highly autocratic country like Russia. And, initially the Russian central bank, and if you guys are subscribers, if you're not, what are you guys doing? Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We spoke about the fact that the central bank wanted to outlaw Bitcoin. And then Putin came back and said, you know what? No, I actually see merit in Bitcoin. I actually see merit in Bitcoin mining, and he got them to back off a little bit. So this is just pure speculation right now. I will say that some of the market, the crypto sphere, and that's why I didn't want to share a crypto sphere article, is they're making a bigger deal out of nothing, right? There's all these rumors around, Russia's going to use XRP. So the XRP army is not worried about what's happening to Ukrainians and ethnics and minorities right now. They're just really happy that maybe Russia will use XRP, which is pure just speculation right now. That's not happening. There's no signs or indications of that happening. And even on the side of Russia, people talking about Putin, using Bitcoin. Now, I don't necessarily think that's the case per se, although honestly, we've seen, more weirder things happen. But the interesting thing to note is, like I was talking about before, the West has now cut off most of Russia's bank from the SWIFT system. So that's the old way to send money. That's the old system. That it's a messaging service that the banks use to send money. So it's cut Russia out a fair bit. Now, what's actually quite interesting is that they haven't cut everything out. So it's, I'm just kind of quoting here. Picking certain Russian banks will ensure the sanctions have maximum impact whilst preventing too much impact on Europe, because they will still be able to buy Russia's oil. Now, this is a good and a bad thing. This also shows you that Russia's been preparing for this. They have enough reserve currency. They have a pipeline of oil that's not stopping anytime soon. So this war may not be ending as quickly as we would like. But it does kind of give you pause for thought in terms of Russia now potentially, again, this is pure speculation. We're not Bitcoin maxis or crypto maxis here. We try to be very objective with you guys, our listeners. On Twitter, some people are saying, yeah, Russia, crypto. That is pure speculation at this point. If it happens, then great. But right now it's pure speculation. But it does, it tells you a lot about what's sort of happening right now. Now, the other thing I want to talk about on the Russian side is, and this is another sort of article, Bitcoin is playing a big, big role. One thing that you do need to keep in mind, that Russia is much of the world's crypto mining hash rate is in Russia. I believe it's like the third highest country on earth where the Bitcoin hash rate is actually happening right now. That's in Russia. So Russia's already pretty pro crypto. Something to think about. So really, really exciting times. Whether sort of Russia adopts crypto in a more deeper thought, that kind of remains to be seen. But what should you be doing right now? Like, that's the question, right, Ahmed? That's the question in everyone's minds. That's what I'm sort of thinking about as well.
How do I plan my next move? How do I plan my next move from all this story?
Sometimes, and we've said this before, the move that helps you sleep at night, often that's the best move. My advice right now would be monitor what's happening. Two things, actually. The first thing would be monitor what's happening. Now, this is a nice little resource. If you're on Twitter, the Spectator Index. Now, these guys, they share financial news, political news in the financial context, right? Focus on finance, business news, etc., etc. Now, right now, you can imagine a lot of this news is on Ukraine. 17 minutes ago, Ukraine says, 4,500 Russian soldiers have been killed. Blah blah blah. It just kind of goes on and on. Talks about the what's happening in the conflict, whether Russia's advancing or whatever. So I like this as a good sort of summary site in terms of seeing what's happening on the markets. That's one thing. Now the other thing too I should sort of talk about is the fact that strap yourself in. That's really one thing I really want to kind of pound on the table right now is strap yourself in. The situation, forget Russia for a moment, then I'll just sort of turn this off for a second, just my screen for a second. The situation right now in terms of not only the global macro war scenario, but even from America's point of view, you have a situation where highest inflation we've ever seen. Housing prices in America are going up. Interest rates are going up. The money supply is getting reduced as well. Oil prices are going up. And add on top of that, you've got war. And also there's another report where Biden is trying to get another $600 million approved for this Ukraine-Russia war. This isn't great. You know what I mean? Now, this may let the money printers prolong a little bit, but we do need to sort of see what happens and unfolds, because right now it is not a time to get bullish. And guys, anyone who knows me knows I'm a very, very positive person, but also making money is as much about making money as it is not losing money, right?
Yeah.
So the best advice I can give you is very similar to what I said last week, right? DCA into really, really good projects. Like, think about what projects are going to be around in the next bear market. Get out of any speculative coins. And honestly, like, guys, now's not necessarily the time to have low cap metaverse plays right now, right? Now's not the time to look for that next gem right now per se. My advice would be look for coins where they will allow you to build passive income. Like, for example, Merhaba, there's a amazing liquidity program, staking program, which I'm sure you can give us an update on, Ahmed, coins like that. So the coins that I'm looking at are things like AVAX, Atom, Ethereum, Helium. I know you're a big fan of that. Polygon, Merhaba, all these coins, they're very, very good value coins that actually offer you passive income. Now, if you don't know where to start, a really, really good website, before I kick to you, Ahmed, because I'd love your thought on this as well, is Staking Rewards. There's a whole bunch of websites, but this is a very good, almost Google for staking. And here you can kind of sort by rewards. Olympus Down, that's a very interesting one. I can see here, where's the one I saw a moment ago? You can go by market cap, by how much that's staked. Atom comes up here. AVAX comes up here. There's a whole bunch that come up here. That's what I'd be doing. Really good coins where you can DCA in slowly but surely. And honestly, some of these you can lock up for 60 days, 90 days, which is, if you're like me and you're a little bit impatient, it's not the worst thing to do. But I might pause there, Ahmed. Your thoughts on what we should be doing, what the market should be doing. I just realized I wasn't sharing my screen, but this was a site I was talking about, Staking Rewards. And you can sort by here. If you guys can see my screen, I know it's quite small there. You can sort by reward, and you can look at a lot of coins. Again, not financial advice. You'd have to do your own research, whether they're Sharia compliant or not. You've got Cardano here, AVAX here at 9.2%, Polkadot at 14%, Cosmos at 14.61%, which I'm a huge fan of. So there's a lot of information here, and it's a relatively legitimate site. But your thoughts, Ahmed?
Yeah, I think with the whole staking rewards, maybe just wait till Marhaba DeFi comes out with a solution in regards to which tokens could be staked, because that would just make your life super easy. But in the meantime, maybe there's about 32 methods you can do to make passive income within crypto. Staking is just one of them, right? So then look into the other formats. Like, for example, Helium mining is called proof of coverage. Helium, which is HNT mining. I just made a video for it on my YouTube, and you guys can check that out. It talks about proof of coverage and how you can make money from proof of coverage. And I've done pretty good when it comes to passive income. Even right now, even though HNT's value, almost all crypto's value is down, but I'm still earning similar amount of HNTs than I was when the HNT value was high. So all I'm gonna wait for is when HNT value goes back up, I'm just gonna sell it, and that's pretty much. And reality is, it's truly passive because I was in Saudi, my machines were running. I was in UK, my machines were running. I'm in Canada, my machines are running. So there's a lot of ways that you guys can make passive income, and this would be the right time to focus on maybe putting your money towards or your tokens towards things like passive income focused, not be trading. Yeah, I would agree with you on that. Not be trading much. Just sitting back and watching because at any time seems like something major could happen. So just chill back and see what's happening and make your decisions accordingly. I agree with you.
Yeah, 100%. And honestly, it's one of those scenarios where I was in Helium early, just as an investor, and then I pulled out. But I'm looking at Helium 2 now. I'm looking for March. We've said this before. March is, you need to be very cautious of March because we don't know what's going to happen in interest rates. Now, if I'm wrong and all of a sudden Biden, and this is the thing, they're happy to find excuses to print more money, right? If Biden
Yeah.
turns around and says, you know what, we're not going to increase the interest rate because we have this war, which fiscally is very irresponsible not to. It's almost like dumb not to increase interest rates when you think about it. But
Mhm.
say he says that, then yeah, we could see another rally. Then March could be a really, really good time to, I guess, make profits. But you still
Mhm.
want to wait. It's not worth you putting in now, watching the market drop another 20, 30, 40%. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So Helium
Mhm.
is the one that I'm watching. I'm not going to do any TA on Helium because I don't have chart ready, but it's one I'm watching as well. I know that $20 mark is a really good form of support. I was
Yeah.
looking at this yesterday. I think it was about 25, and it wasn't a good time to buy because it's just kind of going lower. So good projects at good entry points, buying on support, and either selling on resistance if you're a trader or hodling. That's the way to go. But now speaking of, I ran through some of those: AVAX, Atom, Ethereum, Helium, Polygon, Merhaba. They're all really, really, really good coins. I want to briefly talk about Cosmos and why I like Cosmos so much. For those of you guys don't know, Cosmos actually has a very good airdrop ecosystem, right? It's one of
Mhm.
those where, and this is the thing too, like you don't with Cosmos to be part of the, just so you guys have an idea, this is a very good Twitter account for Cosmos airdrops. There are a load of airdrops happening on Cosmos. And I only sort of started staking, to be honest, in like Feb, and I'm able for a bunch of airdrops because the way the ecosystem works, you either stake on Cosmos or Osmosis or even Juno now, and you're eligible for all these new tokens that are coming on the Atom or Cosmos blockchain. And they reward all the holders. Now this happens again and again and again. And even as of like, you might be like, oh, I've missed out. Here's a tweet that they shared. There's a bunch of more coming up. There's one on Raw, SPQR, Craft. Again, not financial advice and not Sharia advice. You need to look into your own coins. Do not complain to me that none of these are halal or not. I'm just saying that this is part of their ecosystem. They have a track record of airdropping, and that's not slowing down anytime soon. So again, it's one of those. Not only do you have staking rewards, and it's currently about 14.2%, which is really, really decent. But on top of that, you get more Atom, and you're eligible for these other coins that are on the horizon as well. Now, I'm very, very shy to do TA in a bear market or when there's so much crisis because almost every pattern is invalidated. But one thing I will say that right now, if you sort of look at this chart here, you can see that this $25 level is really, really good. And even though we sort of broke out of it, we're above the 21-day moving average. So Cosmos wants to do well. Cosmos is waiting, for good fundamentals to rally. If I go back on the 4-hour chart right now, you can see the RSI is still in bullish territory. The Japanese candles are looking strong. Yes, the signal line has crossed below the MACD, but I still think $25 is not a bad entry point. If there's any news that comes out, then $20 is like Eid for you. It's a good time to buy, but I'll be DCAing into this project. So yeah, that's probably the extent of the TA I want to do today. But I'll sort of say, like, in and amongst all the stuff that's happening, don't forget the bullish stuff that's happening in crypto. There's still a lot of bullish stuff happening. So Brazil, for the first time, is trying, now we probably mentioned this before, but they're one step closer to do what El Salvador did and make Bitcoin legal tender, which is really, really bullish news. So
Yeah.
they've moved it from, one form of, I guess, their governance, and now it's heading to the Senate for a vote. So it's already passed a couple of levels, and it's looking really bullish. But you would be forgiven for missing this news because so much is happening in the world right now. But be greedy when people are fearful, and fearful when people are greedy. Not financial advice. You're in the right space. Trust yourself. DCA into good projects. Dare I say, high cap projects that are going to be around, and you can't do too wrong. But that's the market update for me this week, Ahmed.
Amazing. I mean, this was very interesting, right? So, guys, Moby comes here every week with this information, and I think even this time, some very fair information, right? You're not pushing anybody towards anywhere, just telling them keep your eyes out, keep watching, because there's a lot that's happening globally, and global politics does have effect on various industries, almost every industry, to be honest. Stocks, crypto, commodities, whatever you fancy in investments. So yeah, for sure. Because even
Yeah,
myself personally, I was thinking about 2 days ago of doing some trading, and I was like, no, you know what? I can give myself an excuse to take rest and just not do anything,
100%.
just not touch it. Just if it's happening, whatever's happening, let it be. If I'm in positive in a few, just let it be positive, and I'm negative in a few, just let it be negative. I'm gonna see it phase out for the next, a few months, and see what I can do with it from there on.
100%. And one thing to keep in mind that a lot of coins have not hit any local lows yet, whereas stocks
Yeah,
like Apple and Facebook and a whole bunch. Well, Facebook obviously got hit pretty hard. Amazon, a
yeah,
whole bunch of them have. So crypto,
yeah.
in the grand scheme of things, is still sitting at where it was. Like some of the big ones, the same price they were a year ago, which is
Hmm.
not that bad. And nothing right now has a fundamental case as much as, when you have the Ukraine ministry tweeting, this is our Bitcoin address, this is our ETH address.
That's huge.
Like, guys, you can at least, if your uncle and auntie, because
Appreciate
I
it.
know not you guys are in the right place. You're obviously, we're preaching to the converted here. If your uncle and auntie still can't understand why crypto is such a big deal, they just have to look at what's happening in the world.
Yeah, it's very interesting. We had a gathering here in my place a few days ago. No, sorry, yesterday night, and all these guys were there, and they're like, I don't know if crypto's there. And I'm like, check out what's happening. And then he mentioned to me that, Ukraine has a lot of donations going from crypto. I'm like, at the same time, you're telling me you don't know about the crypto world, if it's the future or not, but at the same time, you're saying this. So yeah, it's very interesting. Anywho, Mufti Billal, welcome back. Uh, I hope you got me some tea also, because I could use some right now. It's 5 a.m. here almost. You're on mute. You're on mute. Uh,
Now I was saying
yeah.
I haven't had any tea, by the way.
Oh man, I was so excited. I was like, I can smell the Earl Grey from there. But anywho,
It's like at
um,
my house.
the floor is all yours. Let's talk about this leverage token, and what do you have to say about it?
Yeah, so I lately we had received some question regarding Binance leverage tokens in
Mm,
particular, and what are they exactly, and is it Sharia compliant or not? So I think the first thing to understand is that leverage token initially was created by FTX initially.
mhm,
So the structure the structure with the Binance leverage token might be more or less similar, if not completely similar. I haven't looked into proper details. But what are leverage tokens themselves? Well, leverage tokens, basically the idea is that they give you exposure to the crypto market. They give you a leverage exposure to the crypto market. What that means then is that you are able to have a larger exposure to the market than the deposit that you have initially put. So, like for example, as an example, let's say you put down as a deposit £10,000, for example, to trade, then you'll
mhm,
be able to trade with maybe £30,000 or
mhm,
£40,000, depending
mhm,
on what the offer is. Now, this is kind of very similar to margin trading, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you're kind of borrowing funds to be able to trade. But they say the key differences here with leverage token and margin is that in the leverage structure, in leverage token structure, there's no actual collateral needed to do the trade, and that supposedly there's no liquidation ever happening, like, because on margin, when you trade on margin, then like your position can get liquidated, right?
Mm-hmm.
So but apparently on the with the leverage token trading, that doesn't happen. But these are kind of minor details. I mean, like, you can go online and look into it, understand it properly. From a Sharia perspective, this does not really matter. What we need to look at is how the token itself, what is the actual contract behind it, behind the leverage token. Is there any form of riba involved? So we all know that leverage is a form of lending, right? You are borrowing, and whenever borrowing and lending activities are concerned, from a Sharia perspective, we need to ensure that there's no riba, there's no interest involved. Now,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but one thing, first of all, we need to look at is in the case of the Binance leverage tokens, what do they actually represent, right?
Mm-hmm.
So according to the Binance website, each token represent a position. It represent in the position in the perpetual future market. Now you know that Binance has what we call a perpetual future market. Now, I think I might have covered it before, and I have given a definition of what future contracts are.
Mm-hmm.
But let me just reread it to you from the Binance website. A future contract is an agreement to buy or sell a commodity or a currency or another instrument at a predetermined price at a specified time in the future, right? So
Mm-hmm.
basically, two parties are agreeing to buy and sell some asset, but
Mm-hmm.
the exchange doesn't happen there. It doesn't happen on the spot. It will take place in the future, right? The entire exchange. From a Sharia perspective, these sort of contracts are not Sharia compliant because when you are buying something, you must either exchange, depending on the type of asset you are trading. Either there must be an exchange from both parties or either on the spot, or at the minimum, there must be an exchange from one party, meaning somebody is paying upfront, for example, for an asset that is going to be delivered in the future. And this is what we refer to usually in Islamic finance as bay salam. So bay
Mm-hmm.
salam is a type of future contract because for the need, right? Sharia has allowed us to do these sort of contract because not everything can be sold on the spot, unfortunately. And Sharia does recognize that, and it does recognize that there is a need to a certain level to sell certain things on the spot, but there must be rules behind it. These future contract, they must operate within certain parameters. So in the case of bay salam, if you're buying something at a future date, then you must at least pay upfront, okay,
Mm-hmm.
before at the time of entering into a contract. But in the traditional future contract system, this usually does not happen. There's no exchange happening at all at the spot.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a contract to say we will trade XYZ at a future date. The date is already is determined, okay? And when the date comes, whether they that this is another uh, uh, issue that I will mention as well, is that in the conventional future system, usually nothing gets exchanged by the end of it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for example, if they are selling, I don't know, oil, for example, at a later
Mm-hmm.
date in a future contract,
Mm-hmm.
by the time the date expired, yeah, there's nothing that has exchanged. It's just the contract that gets exchanged.
Mm-hmm.
They never take possession of the oil. So, like for example, let's say I say to Ahmed, I'm going to sell you a barrel of oil for the 10th of March, for example. Okay. Now,
Mm-hmm.
by the time the 10th of March come, you're not going to take the ownership, or that you're not going to take the possession of the oil.
Mm-hmm.
But what you would have done by then is you would have sold that barrel of oil to Moby
Mm-hmm.
without even seeing that barrel of oil. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? And that is again problematic from a Sharia perspective. And this is what usually happen in traditional futures system. Now, when we're talking about perpetual future contract, in the case
Mm-hmm.
of Binance, there again there's another difference with a traditional future is that the dates never expired. So basically, we are
Mm-hmm.
agreeing to exchange some assets in the future. Know when. We don't know. We can just keep that position open for as long as we like. And that again is very problematic from a Sharia perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, if we look at one of the conditions in Bay Salam,
Mm-hmm.
the Islamic version of the future contract, not only that one party must pay on the spot, right? But the delivery date as well must be known. Okay, it must be known. If ever the person cannot deliver the asset on the agreed date, then the first party can actually break the contract. Okay, they
Mm-hmm.
can say, okay, I want a refund. If you're not going to stick to the agreed date, then I want a refund. They can do that. So
Mm-hmm.
the date, mentioning the date is very, very important, and that does not happen in the perpetual futures of Binance. Now, when we know that traditional future contracts are not Sharia compliant, and similarly, perpetual future contracts are not Sharia compliant, then a tokenized version of these contracts will
Mm-hmm.
not be Sharia compliant either.
Mm-hmm.
And Binance leverage tokens are actual tokenized version of future contracts in the market, and therefore they're
Mm-hmm.
not Sharia compliant. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so obviously because of the structure, as I mentioned, because of there's no delivery date, there's no real exchange happening. So by the time that the date expires, you're probably not going to take. All you're doing is exchanging the value. You're just exchanging contract, but you're not exchanging any asset. That is also problematic from a Sharia perspective. And one last thing is that the fees. So remember earlier I mentioned about borrowing and lending activities, what happened when there's riba involved. Now, many people tend to believe that, in the Binance leverage tokens, there is no interest payment, there's no riba involved, and therefore it is not Sharia compliant. You should never check, or you should never satisfy yourself looking at the contract and looking for the terms, the interest terms. If you think, okay, there's no mention of interest and therefore the contract is Sharia compliant, that is not the case.
Control F interest. I remember I talked about Dr. Fruk about this on a podcast that I did with him. I was like, everybody just Control F's on the white paper, finding interest, and that's how they make their judgment on if it's compliant or not. It's like, no, that's not the whole thing. You have to be intrinsically knowledgeable about these aspects, very in detail to understand how you can play out the whole concept of you don't pay for something that you don't get the same value in return. All the Sharia discussions of finance. And so yeah, it's a really
Yeah,
good point to bring up.
exactly. I mean, when Sharia is saying, interest is haram, it is not, just saying for the sake of the term, that if
Hmm.
you see the term in the contract, that is haram. If there's no term, if the word interest doesn't appear in the contract, therefore it's fine. No, that is not the objective of Sharia. Sharia's objective is to ensure that the structure of the contract does not lead to one party making a gain, especially when it comes to lending and borrowing activities. Okay,
Hmm.
and this is what when you look at the definition of riba in
Hmm.
the books of jurisprudence, you will see that riba is basically a benefit that you're gaining by lending to somebody. It's the
Hmm.
benefit. Now that benefit can come into any form. So if I've mentioned it as well in the past, that if you're lending, I don't know, if you're lending £1,000, and with the condition that you're going to get your £1,000 and I don't know, a free ticket to the cinema, for example, or you're going to get a free massage, or you're going to get a free ride to work for a week or something like that, whatever that benefit might be, that is considered, because it is on top of the actual loan that you have made. This is considered to be a riba, and this is considered to be non-Sharia compliant. Now, in the case of the Binance leverage token, we know that there is a lending and borrowing activities happening there. Okay, because you cannot just say, okay, I'm putting £10,000 now and I'm trading with £40,000, but that is not lending. I don't think that's the case. There is a clear lending happening here, from the platform, right? Because they are allowing you to trade with more than the fund that you actually have available. Now, you might be repaying them, okay, or they might take that money back somehow without saying we're going to charge you interest, but that interest might come in different form. So in the case of Binance leverage tokens, I looked at the fee structure, and we know that there are three types of fees that they are charging. One is the management fee, one is a redemption fee, and one is trading fee. Now, trading fee, usually we can say, okay, to facilitate the trading, and you're charging somebody for that. Okay, so the person is doing a trade on your platform. Obviously, he's using your services, and you're charging him for that. So even if you were to lend that person some money for him to trade, and then you're asking him to that he repays you back, but you're also charging him for any trade that he's doing on your platform, that might be fine, because he's using your platform. You're not just lending him money, but he's also using your platform. So you're selling him a service, right? That might be fine. Management fee, again, possibly that might be fine. Okay, that might, if there's a true managing activity happening. It is not just enough to say, oh, I'm going to charge management fee, and then there's nothing. Sometimes, last time I was there was something that I bought, and I actually paid for an extra service. With the extra service, I was under the impression that there is going to be a proper managing service being offered to me. No, there's absolutely nothing. And I thought to myself, like, I mean, what's that supposed to mean? Like, they just tell you, oh, if you want that, you need to pay this extra, you need to pay that extra. I'm thinking I already paid, managing services fee, and then you're telling me I need to pay extra. So, when they're saying to you management fees, we need to actually know whether this is truly a fee that they are charging in compensation of an activity or service that they're offering. Or we're going to charge you a fee and we're going to call it management fee, and therefore it's not interest, it's not riba, it's absolutely fine. No. If there's truly a management service being offered to you and they're charging you for that, then it's absolutely fine. However, the redemption fee, this is the issue that I have a big problem with. The redemption fee. Redemption fee is basically, when you're redeeming basically your leverage tokens, right? They're charging you. And I think this is interest, and this is riba going from the back door, basically.
Got it.
I don't think there's no need, because they're already charging you management fees and trading fees. What would be the point to charge you redemption fee? What is it that they are losing? Yeah, for them to ask you for compensation for that. I think this is just interest, and I have seen that on many platforms, these sort of redemption fee or creation fee, they're usually just another name or another structure for riba, for interest, and that would make it completely non-Sharia compliant. So we can see that in the case of Binance leverage token, is not just there's not just interest involved there, but at the same time, the entire structure of the token is non-Sharia compliant for the futures contract issues that I have mentioned. Okay.
Got it. Got it. Amazing. All right, guys. So as of now, stay away. After Mufti said this entire thing, so you guys can understand what he's saying. As we always say here, be confident in what decisions you make, and we're trying to make you confident in your decision by educating you guys. And so after all of the discussion, the result is, as of now, stay away and look more into detail. Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Mufti Blah.
Guys,
If you
thank you.
if you gotta run away, take care and keep us in your du'as.
Inshallah. Okay. Assalamu alaikum, guys.
Take care, Assalamualaikum. All right, interesting. Moby, any points on that? What's your take on the leverage tokens and what's going on with that?
Oh man, honestly, it kind of falls into, I'm a layman when it comes to Sharia finance stuff. So like, what does they say? If it like looks like a fish, smells like a fish, sounds like I don't think it's fish.
Probably
I think they say dog.
Yeah,
Whatever they say, right? If it looks like a dog, smells like a dog, sounds like a dog, and then it probably is. So
Is it
there's
dog?
so much money to be made in crypto. Like, why do you even need to worry about that?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
people just
yeah,
hear the most new thing and then they come up and like, yes, we'll talk about that. But if it smells like sorry, if it smells like a dog, looks like a dog, then just kind of make your judgment for now. We'll
yeah.
give you the answer after and focus on the things that you know are good. Go on the Sahal wallet app and start using it to know which tokens are halal. Which brings us
Yeah,
to
100%.
the Marhaba
Yes, yeah.
updates.
How's the Sahal wallet going?
Um,
The launch.
that's exactly what the Marhaba updates are for. All right. Can you see me in my screen?
Let's get your Just you probably want to change the tab.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
there we go. There we go.
All right, fantastic, guys. So the Sahal wallet has launched. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see on Twitter, on our Telegram, and on our other social medias. But not if you want the list of this, halal interest-free based tokens, ethical tokens. Download the Sahal wallet right now. So I've actually opened up this big picture so you guys can focus on these two QR codes, depending on whatever um depending on whatever your is it Android, is it Google, sorry, if it's Apple or it's Android, scan the QR codes and download the Sahal wallet today. So we launched a few days back and the launch was very successful. You guys can see here. And now I think we're at 500 plus downloads within a few days. We are going to start doing heavy marketing. We haven't done much heavy marketing on it, but we will be doing that a few days from now, so that you'll see a lot more downloads happening there. Moby, I sent you a video. You checked it out. We're not going to share what the video is right now, but that kind of will go into the whole marketing aspect of the Sahal wallet. So you guys are the first few that get a chance to look into this wallet. We are updating to version 2.0, which will have a lot more things in the wallet. So there's some really exciting things that are happening from that angle. So yeah, it was a successful launch. Did you get a chance to download the app, the wallet?
Yeah, I did on my iOS device. Absolutely. Haven't moved anything in it yet, but I was excited to just kind of download. So yeah, I mean, just to remind everyone, Ahmed, obviously when you go into those tokens, all those tokens it will allow, they're Sharia compliant ones, right? Because I saw a comment we had a couple of weeks ago. Someone said, "Oh, what's on the Mufti's halal list?" And I think I replied back to that comment and said, "You know what? It's going to be in the Sahal wallet." So that's correct, isn't it? So it's only going to accept obviously Sharia compliant tokens.
I like that name. We should rename it to Mufti's halal list. I like it.
Yeah, Mufti's halal list. Yeah,
that could be its own channel, huh? Okay, I just gave somebody an idea. Oh my god.
Now nobody's going to watch our show.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah,
you're saying?
No, absolutely. So I guess just to confirm though, because obviously technically Bitcoin is a Sharia compliant coin, and the wallet doesn't currently accept Bitcoin. Correct, Ahmed? Just to clarify that.
Yeah. So there's going to be some tokens that are compliant, but we can't accept it yet because we need to have multi-chain capabilities for the wallet itself, which requires a lot of back-end development, which is being done as we speak. There's a team that's literally working night and day for the Sahal and Souk NFT for their upgrades, and that's why there were some delays, and obviously that's where there's version 2.0 coming out, version 3.0 is going to come out, version 4.0 is going to come out, with all the new updates on a monthly basis, right? So I think the next updated version is, I could be a little bit wrong, but I think it's in March for sure. But I think it's mid-ending March for the next version come out, and that will have more multi-chain capabilities. And then um, it's just going to be it's
New features all the time.
yeah,
Absolutely.
iterations and reiterations is a very common thing. So for sure, just stay excited and watch out for more that are going to be coming out. Yeah, cool. All right. So yeah, as you guys can see here, we have launched on LBank. LBank launch was successful. There's a big hype that came from the LBank launch. We had I think a few hundred more holders. Very good. The only reason why I think the market went still down for us is because the entire market fell. So even Marhaba's token fell. But there's a lot of trading still happening, which is exciting. Marhaba. So from LBank's perspective, there is a trading competition that's happening. I think everybody should take a look at this. There's a lot of grand prize up for grab. It's a pretty heavy grand prize. I saw
Crazy. Yeah.
I saw this number when it was requested from the LBank team, and I was like, well, "Do we really need to give that much?"
And you're like, that's how much I have.
I'm like,
That's my allocation.
I'm like, what? Exactly. I was like,
No,
I had to invest quite a bit of money to get this much allocation.
to get that much.
Yeah, I'm like, how did
No,
we?
it's actually really good link, guys. Check it out. Like it goes into more detail. I think it's as basic as trading. That's all you got to do. You just got to trade.
Yeah, here.
Use LBank and trade it.
Yeah.
It's pretty. Yeah, there you go. It's pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, guys, like very very easy. Entry mechanic there. So definitely,
Moby,
if you're looking at.
what do you say? Let's me and you go in, and let's split this. Let's split this award. Oh,
Yeah, I'm not sure this is like recorded now. So. But you probably wouldn't be eligible.
no,
Maybe
I'm
I
not.
might be eligible.
I'm not.
No,
I'm on the
we're
team. I'm on
probably
the
not
team.
eligible.
Yeah, yeah. You're
Yeah,
technically on the
100%.
team too. I'm gonna. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. So you should
Well, just
also
kick me out for a day. Kick me out for a day, and then that's the day off. No, but yeah, like guys, you cannot get simpler than that. That's really really good. That's really fantastic, actually.
Yeah.
Great prize. You don't have to like and share with 20 friends and do all that stupid stuff. Just
Yeah. Go
buy.
and buy, trade, and make good chance to win this project. All right, cool. And this is very important. This is an important announcement. I think in the next few hours, there's gonna be a online workshop, masterclass on our YouTube, exactly on this channel. Well, this video will be coming out after the live, so technically, we'll see. This is Sorry, let's take that away. Not 5 hours after, but this is actually at 3 p.m. UTC. Today, February 28th, and this is gonna be hosted by Albert, our community engagement lead, and also myself, and we're gonna talk about a lot of different topics. We're gonna be covering how to buy the crypto online, how to do swapping with MRHB, providing MRHB USDT based liquidity so you can make passive income not just from banking swap but also from Marhaba itself. And speaking about that, there's a lot of people asking what's the current rate that it's being released at. It was at 1.1 before, now it's at 2.2. So the number of tokens that are being released has been doubled. So there's a lot more at stake, right? So now you can make more passive income. And we were just talking about this in Moby's market update, that you should be looking into tokens that are going to get you passive income, so you can put it in, sit back and relax, right, and see the money coming. And this is all halal, so you don't have to worry about all those things. So do come to this to learn more about that. But we already have detailed guides and videos on our YouTube and also on our website. You go to the website, you go to the top right, you click buy MRHB now, and like here, let me just put that in here. MRHB network. Fantastic. You go here, right here at the top, buy MRHB now. Click it, and boom, right? You can do this on your own also, and make that passive income. But if you don't and you want some guide, come to this streaming, and you'll be able to know how to make that passive income, and then applying for additional rewards, calculating profits, answering all, and then we'll be answering all community questions. So do come out to this online live stream so you guys can learn more about it. And this is why we say check us out on our Twitter, check us out on our other social media, because it's very important you're there first, because that's where all the information comes up first. And just before I end that market Marhaba update, just want to show you guys that we are on Twitter. We are growing quite well. We're at 24.2k followers now. We were at 21 last week, and this is because the LBank launched. There's more people that are interested in the token now, more interested in the project. So there's that increase in community engagement, which is phenomenal. That's about it. That's my market update, Moby. Anything from your side? Any questions? Anything that you think I should cover up?
No, it's great. It's good to see, I think to the community as well, investors, that the team is delivering on the roadmap, the products are coming out. It's really exciting stuff. I mean, yeah, like, crypto right now, the people who are going to be wealthy are the ones who are using this time, right now. It's time for Maghrib. Time for Fajr.
Time for budget.
Time for
Yeah.
Fajr. Subhanallah. So yeah, the people who are going to be wealthy are looking at crypto now, and like long-term DCAing into crypto, just like our parents did and our grandparents did in the share market. This is our share market essentially,
Yeah.
right? But no, exciting stuff. Like Ahmed said at the start of this episode, guys, definitely appreciate the views, appreciating all the love. Give us some feedback. Like, let us know. We've been putting a lot of content out. We've been cutting the episode into shorter snippets as well. We've had some series from Denise and also crypto conversations as well with Jillian. So give us feedback. Do you guys like it, not like it?
Yeah.
We listen to your comments and feedback. Ask us questions, and like let's keep this as a community channel. We're really happy with the growth, really happy with the watch time and the viewers. But yeah, we need to see your comments again, guys. We miss laughing through your comments and then having fun with you guys. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to grow my hair back up for you guys. No one's commented on that.
He's trying to catch up to me. He's trying to catch up to my hair.
Oh man, Moby, mashallah, mashallah. No, I don't want to get you any nazar, but mashallah, phenomenal. It genuinely reminds me of when I was in high school, and I used to kind of sleek my hair back.
What are you trying to say? I'm older than you.
You are.
You're like, oh, you remind me of when I was in high school.
I'll explain to you what I mean by that. You have better genetics than I do. A lot better.
No,
I
I can see all your hair follicles in full HD. They seem fine to me.
Yeah, I gotta wait for them to come back out so I can kind of push them back. Anywho,
No, all good. On that note, probably not adding any more value, guys. Thank you so much. Ahmed, I'll let you wrap it up.
Yeah, for sure. And if there's anybody that's watching out and that wants us to do some hair gel and beard gel or something, let us know. The email is connected to the channel. Anywho, guys, thank you so much for watching. Check us out on our other social media. We're always active on Telegram, Discord, Twitter. Yeah, Facebook. We're gonna also be getting. I've been saying this, but Instagram and TikTok is also going to be coming up very soon. We're just trying to put in all the right steps around it, so it's managed well, and there's actual value that's being delivered through them, not just another channel, right? So that's going to be coming out very soon. So check us out but for now, do check us out on our well-established social media like Telegram, Discord, Facebook, Twitter, and let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, hit that bell notification icon to always know when me or Moby or somebody else in this channel is releasing some stuff. As always, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and keep your duas for what's happening in the world, and may it bring ease and peace for the people who are just basic civilians and have nothing to do with that stuff. And take care of yourself. Salam.